Hello everyone, I'm Jen Herrera.
And I'm Joanna Gomez. Welcome to a special edition of Six in the Mix, previewing the Adrienne Arsht Center's 2018-2019 Broadway in Miami season.
This season has a lot in store for Broadway lovers, including 2 South Florida premieres. Here's the Arsht Center's Andrew Goldberg with some of the highlights of the new Broadway in Miami season.
I know I've said this before, and I really mean it every time that I say it. This next season, the 2018-2019 Broadway in Miami season, truly is our best yet. We'll be presenting the season along with our partners, Broadway Across America, and with title sponsor, Bank of America, and support from Nicholas Children's Hospital. We're really proud to be working with all these partners to bring this great season to Miami. The season kicks off with Hello, Dolly, which is quintessential Broadway. It won the Tony Award for Best Musical in 1964. It also won the Tony Award for Best Revival in 2017. So for more than 50 years, this musical has been wowing audiences. We have in the starring role, arguably the biggest Broadway star ever to tour in a Broadway show, coming to Miami at the Arsht Center with Betty Buckley. Come From Away is really one of my favorite new musicals in recent years. It's the story of 9/12 and the good in humanity. And audiences across the country and in New York have been really pleasantly surprised and thrilled with how much they love this musical. We know that the entire Broadway in Miami community, including myself, is really looking forward to the return of Les Miserables. Why see Broadway at the Arsht Center? The Arsht Center is the only venue in town that gets the official touring Broadway shows and the amazing casts that they've assembled. Many people ask me, why subscribe? And what does it mean to subscribe? Well, subscribing means that you're going to get the best seats in the house, as well as the same seats for every performance throughout the season. And if you subscribe this season, you will be guaranteed tickets to the return of Disney's The Lion King. As well, if you do subscribe to this season and renew for the 2019-2020 season, you will be guaranteed tickets to Hamilton, which is being featured in the 2019-2020 season.
I don't know about you, but I'm really excited about the new season. And one of the shows that I can't wait to see is the Andrew Lloyd Webber musical, School of Rock. Based on the movie, School of Rock the musical tells the story of a wannabe rock star who turns straight-A students into hardcore rockers. And boy, can these kids rock.
School of Rock is more than just a musical. It is a musical and a rock concert.
The difference in the kids for School of Rock is that most of them aren't actors first or singers first. You know, they're instrumentalists.
We have an incredible, I can say it 3 times, group of kids and adults. But the kids really take center stage.
School of Rock is inspiring, and in the show, the children find their voices. But most importantly, the show's message is love.
I got so much inside, if only you would listen.
Yes, we have rock and roll and we have these amazing talented kids, but again, it gets down to it. It's the love that these kids have for music, you know, just the passion they have for the classics, and then Dewey introducing them to a whole new world and having a love for rock and roll, and also the parents' love for their children.
Finding such talented kids isn't easy.
Sometimes I just hear somebody at a restaurant say, oh yeah, my son started guitar lessons, and I'm like, how old is he? How far along is he? What? Can I have your number?
You're in the band.
And keeping them around is even harder.
The second a boy's voice starts to change, he can't sing our material anymore. And the second a little girl starts to look too womanly, it doesn't work anymore.
Challenges aside, School of Rock has been a huge success, due in large part to the kids.
I'm in the band. I'm in
But it's also an Andrew Lloyd Webber musical with songs you won't find in the hit movie.
When the world is screwed you and crushed you in its fist, when the way you're treated has got you good and pissed, there's been one solution since the world began. Don't just sit and take it, stick it to the man. Let's go!
You have to come see School of Rock for so many reasons.
Killer kids, rock star children.
The music is infectious. You will go out of the theater screaming and singing Stick It to the Man.
It's like nothing I've ever seen in a theater before. Audiences cannot sit in their chairs by the end of the second act. The whole theater is up on their feet. You are going to feel things that you didn't even know that you could feel in a theater, and you are going to leave with your heart pounding and dancing on air.
I wish I could play like that, and who doesn't like an Andrew Lloyd Webber musical, right? School of Rock rocks Miami April 9th through the 14th.
Another musical coming to town is making its South Florida premiere at the Arsht Center, Irving Berlin's White Christmas.
There's always a bit of nostalgia when people hear just the opening chords of Irving Berlin's White Christmas. It's such an iconic song. It's a song that I think everyone knows, whether you're 4 years old or 84 years old. It's a song that people relate to.
Irving Berlin's White Christmas. Even if you've never seen the movie or the show live, chances are you know that song. For more than 15 years, White Christmas has been a hit on stage, and now it's coming to South Florida. The dance-driven musical is based on the heartwarming holiday tale from the 1950s. Part of the key to its huge success, keeping it true to what original audiences loved on the big screen.
It's so dynamic. It moves. It's cinematic, but it's on stage. It builds so beautifully.
The stage performance has jazz numbers, ballroom dancing, and the crowd favorite, tap.
It's a dancer's dream. I, of course, love all of the tap numbers, which one of my favorite tap numbers is the Act 2 opener. I love a piano.
One of the numbers that I never grow tired of is the very last number in the show, which is the finale. And it's a tap number, but it's done in the style of ice skating. And I think it's the combination of the song and the moves that we do and the costumes, and it's a beautiful winter set. And then it starts to snow on stage, and that's a moment I never grow tired of watching.
The story highlights the importance of helping each other out, friendship, loyalty, and yes, there's a love story in there too.
I think Irving Berlin's White Christmas takes you back to a simpler time. I think we're in times now where people are longing for that kind of entertainment, where they can come in for 2.5 hours and truly just sit back and hear great music, see a love story, see beautiful sets so that people can breathe a little bit easier.
Irving Berlin's White Christmas opens on Christmas Day. It's a perfect show for the whole family, so go ahead and bring the kids.
I think I'm going to do that. Coming up, a new production of Broadway favorite Les Mis is coming to the Arsht Center, and a breathtaking new musical that's been wowing audiences on Broadway and beyond makes its South Florida premiere in Miami, and we've got a sneak peek.
To learn more about the Broadway in Miami 2018-2019 season, or for tickets or subscriptions, visit arshcenter.org. We'll be right back. Welcome back to this special edition of Six in the Mix. I'm Jen Herrera. This next Tony Award-winning musical phenomenon has been seen by 70 million people in 44 countries and in 22 languages. Now an all-new production of Les Miserables is wowing audiences once again.
Les Mis has been around for a very long time. It's based on a novel by Victor Hugo that was written in the 1800s.
I think Les Miserables persists because it is at its core a human story, and it's about people and love and redemption and all the things that we actually need to think a little bit more about on a daily basis.
I had a dream my life would be so different from this hell I'm living.
If the audiences haven't seen this version of Les Miserables that was just coming off Broadway for a 2.5-year run in its most recent revival, they will get to see an all-new staging of the production, a brand new physical production, a new scenic design using elements of Victor Hugo, who wrote the original novel, using his paintings as background for it. The magic behind Les Mis is that one generation after the next generation comes to this musical either with no expectations or a very fond memory of what they've seen previously to this production. And I think everybody walks out of the theater saying, oh my God, that was an incredible evening, so emotional, and I can't wait to see it again.
It is something that can happen without theatrical magic. And I think because of that, we're then able to amplify it and build it up to create more of a world on stage for an audience to be entertained by. But should everything fail, should the lights go down, should the automation stop working, should the costumes be lost in the mail or on a truck somewhere, the cast could stand at the front edge of the stage and deliver the music and deliver the story, and the audience would absolutely be fulfilled.
Les Mis comes to the Arsht Center February 5th through 10th. Don't miss it.
Featuring original music and lyrics by 6-time Grammy nominee Sara Bareilles, Waitress is an uplifting musical about friendship, motherhood, and the magic of a well-made pie.
What I love about Waitress is it's this intimate, funny musical about life in a diner.
Our music is written by one of the greatest pop composers alive today, Sara Bareilles. And Sara has this unique ability. She is cued in to what the character is saying and what the character wants and needs. She understands each and every one of these characters and sympathizes with them so deeply and so immediately that when you hear a song, if you're just looking at lyrics on a page, you can guess who's singing that song no matter who's singing.
So our lead character, Jenna, is a waitress, and she is responsible for baking all of the pies. And it's just not any diner. This is a pie diner. They serve 27 different varieties of pies. But what we learn through the musical is she puts all of her emotional life into these pies.
Sugar, butter, flour.
Hi, I'm Stacey Donnelly, the pie consultant for Waitress the Musical, and welcome to our kitchen where all the pie magic happens. When they started working on Waitress, they called me and asked me if I would make 200 mini pies for a reading, and they were gone in 15 minutes. Barry's face at that moment, his eyes lit up. He said, we're onto something. And, you know, it took a lot of figuring out to get the real pies on stage. For most of the time on Broadway, everything has been prop foods. And working with real ingredients and real food is a challenge. You know, when pies drop or ingredients falls, eggs fall, you know, things happen, but you make them work. So on a regular week here in New York, we sell between 1,600 and 2,000 pie jars. And the jars, believe it or not, are not easy to bake in. You've got to find the right consistency, the right type of crust, the right amount you put in the jar so it shrinks up. So it's a challenge. 2 years ago, 50, you know, per person seemed crazy to do in a day. Last week we did 5,000 in a week. It's all baked here. I have an amazing team that helps me out. It's been a really wonderful crew and cast because everybody does support one another, which is really nice.
Which one of Jenna's pies am I most like? Well, I took a quiz and I'm a little Wild berry pie. Seriously, Waitress bakes its way to Miami February 26th through March 3rd.
Remind me to take that quiz later. Now, this Tony Award-winning show is a remarkable tale about a small town in Canada and what happened there after the events of 9/11. Based on a true story, Come From Away proves that even in our darkest hours, there's still good in the world.
The story of Come From Away is a story about kindness. It's about heroic kindness. On the day of 9/11, 2001, the United States was transfixed by a terrible thing that happened, and in a little town in Gander, Newfoundland, that was next to a large airport, this town of about 9,000 accepted about 7,000 people from all over the world that couldn't get into the United States because our airspace was shut down. And so this little town thought they might get these people for maybe overnight. Turned out to be they had them as their guests for 5 days.
5 days! 19 animals and 7,000 straight!
The phrase "come from away" is what people on the island of Newfoundland call people from off the island. Oh, you're come from away.
The ones who have come from away, we say, welcome to the, 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 welcome to the rock.
It was a funny title, Come From Away. Nobody knew what that meant. It was an ensemble piece, so we knew there would never be stars. And everybody was going to call it the 9/11 musical. So that's like 3 strikes, you're out. Perfect show for us, right? Because it's a challenge.
Tonight we honor what was last, but we also commemorate what we found.
The major character that I play is Mayor Claude Elliott. When he became mayor, they had put in place an emergency plan if something were to happen at the airport. When they heard that all these planes were being flown to Gander, within 1 hour, they had all the important people in the room. And by the time the people got off those planes, all 7,000 of them, they had over 7,000 sandwiches, they had cots, they had places for them to go.
It's the great thing about the people in Gander. They still don't think they did anything, which is so amazing after you see this story in terms of how they took care of people. They just do what they need to do in order to get through.
David and Irene, the creators of the piece, spent 3.5 months up in Gander. They had over 4,000 hours of interviews with people who had been on the planes and people who were in the town of Gander. And from those 4,000 hours of interviews, many of the words you will hear come out of our mouths as actors are the actual words of the real people themselves.
Everything in the story is true. Yeah. Everything that happens on stage actually happened. Someone said those words. I think that's the thing that surprises people so much when they see the show and they're like, did that really happen? It's like, yes, that really happened.
American Airlines had the prettiest planes.
One of my favorite moments still is the moment that we have been to Gander. They're talking about folks at the airport, and all of a sudden the stage just transforms. Those 12 chairs transform into those 12 actors turning themselves into the people in the plane, and it is just theatrical magic.
It's magic.
It's just what it is. They don't do anything except move those chairs and their bodies to form something that in our minds we go, wow, they're in a plane. And it's just that simple. And I think that's the glorious part about this show. They simply make it all magical with very little because they are that good a storyteller. I would describe it as this unbelievably wonderful journey that you go on, and you laugh, you cry, and at the end of it, you come out feeling better. I always come out of this show going, I think I need to be a better person, because after the end of it, you just feel that life is good and that the people that are in this world are ultimately good.
It's just such a human, heartfelt piece of theater.
The show bears witness that having an enjoyment of life, a zest for life, a gratitude for the life we have, and share its goodness with others is the best way to live it.
Come From Away makes its South Florida premiere at the Arsht Center June 18th through 23rd. Coming up, Disney's The Lion King makes its triumphant return to the Arsht Center, and we've got an exclusive backstage tour, so don't go away.
To learn more about the Broadway in Miami 2018-2019 season, or for tickets, subscriptions, and more, visit arshtcenter.org. Welcome back to the special edition of Six in the Mix. I'm Joanna Gomez. Our next show is a musical comedy revival. Winner of 4 Tony Awards, Entertainment Weekly raves that Hello Dolly is classic Broadway at its best. South Florida Broadway fans are in for a treat. Tony Award-winning Broadway superstar Betty Buckley will play the leading role of Dolly Levi.
I love Betty Buckley, you know. She's a queen of the theater, and we're lucky to have her playing Dolly. She's got one of the greatest voices you'll ever hear. And she's a wonderful actress. I think people are eager and hungry to see a show that makes them feel as good as Hello Dolly is going to make them feel. Dolly is as great a show as I've ever directed. I'm the luckiest guy in the world because I love what I do. One would ask, how has the show managed to stay alive for as long as it has? And it's been many, many years. It was written in '64, based on a play that was written well before that. And I think it's simple. I think what the show is about is timeless, and that is relationships. I hope the national tour does exactly to the audiences around the country, and particularly in Miami, you know, exactly what it does to the audiences in New York. It makes them ecstatically happy.
Hello Dolly comes to the Arsht Center November 20th through the 25th. Now here's a bit of trivia for you. Betty Buckley won her Tony playing Grisabella in the original Broadway production of Cats.
I knew that. Winner of 6 Tony Awards, including Best Musical, Disney's The Lion King returns to the Arsht Center. More than 90 million people around the world have experienced the awe-inspiring visual artistry, the unforgettable music, and the uniquely theatrical storytelling of this Broadway spectacular. Here's a peek into how the magic is made.
Welcome to the Minskoff Theater. We're on stage at The Lion King. I'd like to take you on a backstage tour. So each night when we do the show, it takes about 125 people from what I say to the pit to the back wall. So that's the orchestra and the actors and the crew. And if you're in the ensemble, you do lots of things. So this is India's spot. She's a lioness and she's a hyena. And here are all of India's shoes that she wears in the show. She's also some kind of animal in Circle of Life. We call the women in the show the wildebeest, the guys are the wildebeest. Some of the dancer women change 15 times during the show. And all of these costumes and all of the puppets are designed by the creator of the show, which is Julie Taymor. She's our director, costume designer, puppet designer, and co-scenic designer. All of this stuff is researched from African textiles that she's then interpreted and designed. It really brings authenticity to the show. One of the things that I love about this show is it's more imagination than it is technology. Everything is a puppet manipulated by an actor. That's the elephant from the production that comes down the aisle. It takes 4 people, and 1 in each leg, to operate that puppet, the Zazu puppet. So he's one of the more complicated puppets in the show, and actually he's indicative of one of Julie Taymor's ideas and concepts for the show, which is the double event. So she didn't want it to be like a theme park show where a person puts on a lion head and said, "Oh, I'm a lion." This is an actor who's in a blue suit and with a blue derby on, and then he's holding a puppet. But almost instantly, the audience knows all of that is Zazu all together, and so they're receiving the information that the actor's delivering through his face and his body, and also the information that the puppet is giving, and that's the double event.
So with the puppets, I think the most wonderful thing is that we as artists get to infuse ourselves into your puppet. You know, they give us sort of a diagram of how to use it, but then it's about making it come to life. Hey guys, this is Jelani Remy Simba on Broadway. The part I love most about Simba is his strength and his journey, because he goes through a lot. You know, as a kid, he's sort of framed to believe that he killed his father. You know, and that's heavy for a child to go through. But then he meets two new best friends, Timon and Pumbaa, and they sort of give him sort of a boost in a family life that he hadn't had in a long time. And then he meets Nala and falls in love. And then he finally realizes it's his time to reclaim his throne, and he goes back to battle his uncle Scar. So all those different layers make this beautiful arc of a story that I just love to perform night after night. The Lion King is a story that has been passed down for over 20 years. So to be able to step into the role and give it my own personal flair and my own personal touch is iconic in my mind, because so many have come before me, and now I get my chance to sort of sink my teeth into such an iconic role. I think The Lion King has such longevity is because it's universal. You know, it speaks to your heart, and everybody has a heart, and there's so many different things that you can connect with the show. No matter where you are in life or what you're going through, there's something in the show that you will see and take with you and feel for the rest of your life. What I always tell people is go see the show multiple times, because there's always something different to see. There's a different costume to see, there's different colors, there's different lighting, there's a different sound that you haven't heard in the orchestra pit. So there's many, many, many different things to see throughout the show. It's just the perfect recipe for a beautiful theatrical adventure. It's amazing.
Disney's The Lion King graces the Arsht Center stage May 8th through 26th. I think the 2018-2019 Broadway and Miami season is going to be fantastic.
I agree, and here's even more exciting news. The Broadway smash Hamilton will be coming to the Arsht Center in the 2019-2020 season. You know those tickets will fly, so don't wait. Visit artcenter.org to learn more.
That's all for now. Thank you for joining us on this special edition of Six in the Mix.